Actually been in operation for 3 years and has a great relationship with the community. Some of the things that the Barbary Coast Dispensary has done for the community in the last couple of years is outfitted the San Francisco Seahawks Pop Warner football team with uniforms at each different team. Sponsored 2 gun buyback programs, one with United Players on 7th and Howard, and one in the Western Addition, where we collected over 202 guns, including 4 automatic weapons, and that was just this past year. Both those events happened, and with the mayor's office and the Brady campaign, a bunch of community groups, South of Market community groups. It was a really successful event. I think it was maybe about 6 months ago we did the one on Howard Street, and then after there was a triple homicide in Hayes Valley, we did a second round of fundraising, and we put on a second one kind of in response to the homicide. So in addition to that, we also do support the United Players program. This summer we employed 6 kids, or we helped them. They employed 6 kids, but we helped raise money for it. We donated money to that program, and as well as after school activities. And we've got a great partnership with that group in particular, but we also work with other groups. And if we're solicited to donate money to any community fund, our record is that we're pretty much 100% in support of our community. So we feel that we've done our part, really giving back and fitting in and working hard to be a part of the community. The reason we're here tonight is because we have a hearing before the Planning Commission. I think it's on the 13th of August. And what the proposal is to expand the dispensary. If you go to page 3, this is what the dispensary currently looks like today. So you can see it's really beautiful. We put a ton of work into it, made a ton of improvements to the space. And on page, if you look at page 2, you can see this is right now the current meeting space that we want to incorporate into the dispensary. And so basically right now what we're using this space for is we have meetings there, community meetings. The Brownie Mary Democratic Club meets there every month on second Thursday. Tony there has joined me for a number of meetings. And what we'd like, and also patient services. And so what we'd like to do is be able to incorporate this into the dispensary so that the patients that are using it can medicate in the space. And it's part of the dispensary as opposed to being a separate facility where you have to walk out to the street and go back in. We just want to build the door so we can go straight through, use it for meetings, use it for patient services. So that's, and if you look at the floor plan on the 4th page, you can see that's basically, this is the existing dispensary on the bottom. Want to incorporate this meeting space, flex room, multi-purpose space into the dispensary. And like I said, that'll just allow us to offer more patient services through the dispensary instead of having it as kind of like a redheaded stepchild, if you will. This small room that isn't really neither here nor there. The other portion of our application is to allow on-site consumption. When we first went through the permit process, there was a lot of concerns from the neighborhood. There's the mental health center that's on the corner. They were developing a hotel right next door, immediately next door. A lot of people in the neighborhood had never had exposure to medical cannabis dispensaries and assumed the worst, that we were going to be a magnet for crime and we were going to create this huge nuisance in the community. So we actually scaled back the initial proposal to permit only the first half of it. And at the time we told the Planning Commission and the planners that we'll hold off for a couple years, so you'll have an opportunity to judge us on our record after a couple years of operations. If you see that we're providing a good benefit, good service for our community, and we have a good track record, we're going to go back in and we're going to apply for an expansion with on-site consumption and to allow a meeting space on use of the full facility instead of just using half the facility. And so after 2.5 years of operations, we think we've done a great job and we have a ton of support. And so we're going to go back in and try to expand now to allow on-site vaporizing and consumption and also have that flex space. So the final part of the permit, which is a little intriguing and would probably be exciting for any medical cannabis patient in the room, but I don't know if anybody is or not, but the city of San Francisco allowed in the code when they permitted dispensaries, they allowed 2 dispensaries to have extended hours permits, basically up to 24 hours. And no dispensaries in San Francisco have been granted that right yet. Only certain dispensaries qualify. You have to be located in a downtown commercial district, and you have to have access by public transit, by OWL service, 24-hour public transit service. So as we were going through the process, we thought about it, we discussed it amongst ourselves, and we figured, you know what, might as well add that in as part of our application. We'll see what the demand is. We don't quite know. It's nobody's done it before, but it's something that we want to look into doing and offering extended hours to the patients. The hours were already extended to the maximum amount, which is I think 10 p.m. Is that right?
10 p.m. Yes.
10 p.m. And there's people coming in at 10 p.m. So if this is approved, we're going to probably open until 11 or 12 and see if people are still using the service and if there's a need for it in the community. If there isn't, the existing hours, which are 8 a.m. to 10 p.m., I think 363 days a year, are sufficient. But if there's a need in the community for extended hours, we're willing to provide that service. Nate, you want to talk a little bit about the security that we have now?
One of the things that we take a lot of pride in is our security inside the dispensary, as well as what our security's done on the outside of the dispensary. We have a private security team that we hire, which is a private group called Top Flight Security. They do a lot of when dignitaries come into town and stuff, they do a lot of their personal security. So these guys are all very, very well trained. And then what we also have done is we've added security people outside of our dispensary, especially during what we consider high crime times. A lot of people walking by, breaking windows. I don't know if you guys have ever had your windows broken and things snatched, but it does happen a lot. And since we've been putting people outside, the window smashing has gone down almost to zero during the times that we're doing it. So we're really trying to, as well as also any kind of petty theft. A lot of people have been being held up at one of the bus stops down there. We've added some security, and just having a presence outside has thwarted a few of the snatch and grabs. So, you know, we really want to make sure that we have people inside the dispensary, outside the dispensary, and then inside our new, or hopefully with our new area, we'll have one person inside the room at all times, as well as one person at the door. So security will always be handled, and we take that very seriously, as we want our patients to medicate and be safe inside as well as outside.
Who qualifies as being a dispensary and is it costly?
I'm sorry?
You would like to enter. Who qualifies into the program?
So you just need a recommendation from a doctor, and any type of an ID, a form of ID, and you're in.
Does Medicare cover?
I don't believe they do.
Not yet.
No.
Not yet. Hopefully soon.
Someday.
We do weed, or weed. Is it very costly inside?
We have levels, you know, from kind of a top shelf to a bottom shelf, and you know, I mean, in terms of a pricing, we have stuff as cheap as $2. So, you know, from $2 to $60 is kind of the range. So, I mean, you know, if you want to be expensive. If you want to be, you know, at the bottom, you know, there's medication for everybody.
Would the doctor prescribe the level of medication you would take? Would it come from the doctor? Would they say, you know, what you take as for medication? You can see on the
Generally, a doctor will give you a prescription and then give you the individual kind of your marching orders in terms of, you know, what, based on your maladies, what you need to take. If you have anxiety, they may say a high CBD thing, or maybe stay away from sativa dominant flowers, which would help, you know, raise anxiety and probably get you more into an indica thing. Or if you have emphysema or you have problems with your lungs, there are edible options, there are tinctures, there are sprays. So really, we can pretty much handle you know, whatever's going on.
And so all the edibles are all have dosage on the packaging, so you know how strong they are, and all the cannabis is lab tested for you know, mold and mildew, pesticides, fungus, as well as has the levels of THC and CBD in it, so you know how strong it is. The CBD provides more of a less of a high, but an actual more medical side.
Yeah.
So you know what it is that you're smoking. Everything's been tested and it's measured, and it's not. I mean, it's science, but you know, marijuana research and development is just in its baby right now. It's just starting. But everything that's available in the marketplace, we provide all of the data that we can get.
Can I get a copy of the security plan?
Yeah, sorry, we didn't bring the security plan, but I can email you one over.
It's fast to just drop in my contacts.
Okay, here? Okay, that's fine. And we have, we're not yet aware of any opposition to our plan. We've got obviously the support of all our patients, which is a couple thousand patients so far have signed our letter of support. We of course would love to have the support of your group, and I don't know how you guys do endorsements or how you take action or something, but if I could put in a formal request to have your support, we would love to have your support.
Once I get the security plan and review it, I'll make a determination. I'll let my board know, and if it's a go, then I write it out and send it to
Then
them.
we would, yeah. If it's all a go, then we would write a letter and send that in prior to the hearing, and yeah.
Yeah, and I think with our security plan, it's gonna be a little bit. We're gonna adjust it as we go because of the after hours thing. Right now, we have our existing security plan. If we stay extended hours, it's probably gonna be adjusted. We have professional consultants that are gonna work on that. I'm not a security consultant. So
I do security plans for alcohol licenses all the time.
Okay, well, we'll show you what we got, and if, any suggestions, we're completely open to any improvements we can make.
Sounds good. I think that we can have our.
I just had a quick one.
Yeah.
Do you guys deliver and do you guys have veterans discounts?
We do not deliver, we do have veterans discounts.
What other kind of discounts do you have?
We also do senior citizen discounts, so anyone over the age of 62, you get a discount, as well as any veterans.
The senior and the veteran on top of it?
See,
Yep.
what a veteran seniors.
If you're a veteran senior, then
You
you
get the double?
You get the double.
Awesome.
All right,
Thank you for
there
your
go.
service. Yeah.
Good question. Okay, well, any other questions?
Anything else?
Thank you.
Well, we thank everyone for taking the time out of your busy
Thanks,
schedule
guys.
and giving us the
Appreciate it.
opportunity.
Appreciate
Thank
it.
you.
Thanks very
Okay.
much.
And I'll drop off the security plan for you.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks. Appreciate it.
Can I get one of those tablets?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I can put it in the film?
You want to put it in the scrapbook? I'm going to leave my card here.
Thanks, sir.